So Jared had me on point, and I was walking up the trail, and then I heard something. And I could very, very slightly, I could hear someone breathing. And I couldn't see him. And as I got closer and I got closer, I still couldn't see him. And then I heard some rustling. And then it was a pack of matches came out, heard it open, heard the match, and then whoosh, the guy struck the match. And he must have been 1 meter ahead of me. He lit his match, and when he did that, that's when I just tackled him. The other guys grabbed him. We kept him quiet. We dragged him back to where the van was supposed to be, and the other guys, approached the guys that were waiting at the van. I mean, I feel bad now that we scared him to death, but it was all part of what we were doing. But we got back to the hotel that night, and then we went out again early the next day. We were at a place called Los Cascades, which was Cascades was located next to by the coffee factory that you see in the movie, and there was a huge hole in this cliff, right? And this waterfall just blazing out, and we were full camouflage, head to toe. Now, this is the time when the whole conflict in Chiapas was going off, so people were definitely nervous about us running around out there. But we came up to some kids, and they were walking through the park. It was like a park, jungle, trail kind of thing. And in the training is if someone sees you, you have to take them out. You can't compromise the mission. So I was in that mindset, knowing it's not real, of course, but thinking about it in those terms. And I was right on the path. The path crossed in front of me, and I was, like I said, full camouflage, and I'm standing there, and this girl walked by, and she stopped and looked right at me. She looked right in my eyes, and turned to her friends and said, "Hey," and when she looked at me, I thought, oh my God, this girl's going to be terrified. I have a dummy weapon. I'm dressed to the nines, and this is going to be bad, right? She didn't see me at all. I just blended right into the jungle, and I was probably 5 feet away from her. So I knew we were doing our job correctly, but it was terrifying nonetheless. Just that feeling, just hearing my heartbeat, just going crazy like that. We did that mission, and then we got through the area where the civilians were, and we had to find this cliff. And the cliff was an old electrical tower where they'd swung these lines, and it was probably, 500 feet high. And every step was about 12 feet high. It was a wall almost, and you had to slide down it and land on about a 6-inch step of cement, and then to the next step, all the way down. And I'll never forget, I was the last one, and I was hanging on, and I turned around and looked, and Defoe looks at me and goes, "Let go." And talk about having trust, and that's what a lot of the training was, trusting, the guys you were working with, and everybody was totally into it. We were hanging out and doing everything together. So I just let go, and I slid down and caught on that wall, and he had his hand on the small of my back, and my knees were shaking, and my hands are like shaking right now thinking about it. But those are some of the things that we did, to get ready for that. And this is before the movie company came